we're dealing with.
We know virtually nothing about Cypher anymore. How big they've gotten, what they want, or even who they really are. The new mother base started out as a test drilling rig operated by a mineral resources supplier, but their project fell through. The Seychelles government was happy to hand the place over to us. It was just scrap on stilts. So with a few dummy construction companies set up as fronts, we started renovating the half-finished rig. From the outside, it looked like the project was back on rails.
Kaz, you...
What?
I see what you're doing. Recreating the mother base we had 9 years ago. Only this time.
That's right. The mother base Cypher thought they destroyed will return from the grave to kill them. We'll prove to the world that we were the victors.
And if we lose again?
They can't fool us the same way twice. Now our enemies are in plain sight. And when our organization gets too big, we split it across companies. Any company that draws attention gets liquidated, and its capital is back-channeled into a new company. Most PFs are small-time operations anyway. And in this business, the minnows go bankrupt all the time. We've never aroused suspicion. Plus, we have Hewick.
Hewick?
Human Exploitation Company. It's a business specializing in intel gathering. Think of it as a civilian intelligence agency.
Kaz, that's...
Remember what they were trying to accomplish at the prison facility in Cuba? That gave me the idea. We dispatch moles into conflict zones around the world, and each sets up an intel network on site. Then they stay in place to give us stable points of contact when other nations intervene in the conflicts. Hewick's strength is that it has a cutout at each level. You get your job from one guy, then you hand it off to another. No one has direct access. It's a perfect black box. Hewick members also work their way into the superpowers intelligence agencies to make sure Diamond Dogs gets work. We have those countries by the balls. That's our deterrent when we need it.
Networking? In the intelligence community?
Sure, that's how we've grown this far. And when you go out on missions, intel from Hewick will be there to back you up. But despite all that, Cypher has its eyes on us. The only reason I'm not dead is that they needed to know where you were. Figured if you woke up, I'd go straight to you.
That's why you made that ruckus at the zero line.
Yeah, to make their own surveillance work against them. I think it took some of the heat off Cyprus.
Kaz.
Then I just had to wait for you to save me. And I've gotten used to waiting.
Kaz.
That's not all. It was a good chance to scout the market. And with the West wanting the Soviets out of Afghanistan, their agencies are bursting at the seams with funding. Boss, let's start by building up our Afghan presence.
Why put Mother Base in the Seychelles?
We're at the center of the world here.
We're all the way out in the Indian Ocean.
Come on. Lebanon, Sri Lanka, East Timor, and Africa. From here, our reach extends to conflict zones the world over, including Afghanistan, of course.
So it's prime real estate for a mercenary.
Exactly. Latin America isn't as close as I'd like, but we have Amanda and her people to help in that department. And besides, the Seychelles government owes us a favor.
Owes us?
The Seychelles has strong ties to the east, which the West wanted to shake up. It came to a head 3 years ago, in an attempted coup. It was a force of South African mercenaries, with U.S. backing behind the scenes. They were only platoon size, but South Africa is home to some heavy PFs, too much for the Seychelles to handle. In the end, they accepted help from the Tanzanian army and quelled the coup. We set up the deal and handled on-site tactical instruction. That led to some training work for the Seychelles military. And when we put down a mutiny within their forces, well, we made a lot of people happy. They don't pay us. They just let us have a piece of their offshore territory on the promise we'll come running if something else happens.
So we're bodyguards, too.
It's a good setup. We can only take Mother Base so far here. We'll have to find somewhere else when this place starts getting big.
Aren't you being a little hasty?
Nothing hasty about it. You're back with us now.
So, Kaz, the ship that took us from Cyprus, it used to be a whaler.
Yeah, a Japanese vessel. How was the voyage?
It was... stimulating.
Well, she was part of a whaling fleet up until a few years ago. Her displacement isn't anything to write home about, but she can really move. She still had plenty of life left in her, but then the work dried up. Global opposition to whaling has been mounting for years.
Is that right?
The push to ban it has been gaining traction for a little over a decade. Individual species came under protection as the years went on, And then 2 years ago, the IWC adopted a moratorium on commercial whaling. Several countries, including Japan, fought it to the bitter end. But eventually, most whaling companies had no choice but to throw in the towel. You ever tried whale snake?
Can't say that I have.
When I was a kid in Japan, practically everybody ate it.
That good, huh?
The country was poor in those days, and whale was cheap. International opinions changed since then. In any case, that's why we were able to get a bargain price on the ship. Of course, we did end up spending 5 times the purchase price in modifications. We had to really work to fit in all the ESM and communications gear while keeping the whaler look intact. Right now she's going around conducting SIGINT missions. In the future, we plan to use her as a communications relay base between you and Mother Base, and also as a chopper resupply vessel.
Diamond dogs. The word diamond originally comes from the Greek adamas. It means indomitable, unyielding. Other words for the stones often mean eternal bond, fortitude, or purity. The same is true of the Star of Bethlehem flowers you laid on the boss's grave. They represent innocence, as well as chastity, yielding to no man while maintaining one's virtue. In other words, staying loyal to something.
Und wieder haben wir ein paar sehr interessante Informationen erhalten. Aber wollen wir mal gucken. Wir haben den heutigen Tagesmission. Okay, 35. Oha.
Please specify a project.
Das wäre doch gut. Scharfschützengewehr. Wie viel Geld habe ich GMP? Ich habe 214.500. Das allein würde schon. Kann ich mir nicht leisten. So. Nope.
Please specify a project.
Okay. Schauen wir.
Please specify a project.
Lautsprecher sind nicht schlecht. Hochleistungsaußenbordlautsprecher, ein Soundsystem, das die Gefühle und die Moral der eigenen Truppe zu heben oder auch als psychologische Position gegen den Fall eingesetzt zu werden. Das ist ja keine Realkriege, das ist ja doch klar. Na toll. heißt, es wäre komplett eine Hubschrauber oder was? Mehr Leute rekrutieren in Zukunft. Jetzt weiß ich auch warum.
Please select a mission.
Ein andermal.
Please select a landing zone. Heading to Mother Base.
Oh. Ja, es ist eigentlich immer ein Vorteil, dachte ich, dass es gibt ja immer so Informationen im Ladebildschirm, ne? Das ist nicht auch fast bei jedem Spiel so. Und das ist hier ein enormer Vorteil, dass man eben selbst bestimmen kann, wie das an den Laden weitergehen soll, und sich die Informationen durchlesen kann. So, jetzt habe ich aber wiederum nicht gekriegt, dass der Laden schon fertig ist. Deswegen. Naja.
Thanks for letting me join the fight. I'll do whatever you ask.
You hear all kinds of stories. Commander Miller says there's more to it than that. They had this
Das war die Kurzfassung.
What's up, boss?
Okay.
Boss, we don't have enough medicinal plants.
Ich merk's mir. Was ist hier nicht mehr, ne? Erstmal. Vielleicht kommt hier ein bisschen was hin, wenn ich die erste Missionsreihe abgeschlossen habe. Also.
Please select a mission.
Informationskontrolle und Übersetzung. Das sollte funktionieren.
Everybody did that. It was this unit in World War II. The commander was a woman from the cross. It says she was the mother of the body of this guy. See the text to the circle.
Whatever supplies you need, just let us know, boss.
Yeah, our boss. Big boss. And once the boss was dead, he was given a name to signify his master.
We got a one-man infiltration to the circle.
It's starting to get a little crowded around here, boss. Yeah. But I also think the boss was
Miller doesn't plan to return to the field. Says he's going to stay here and focus on running things as XO. No surprise with his body in that state. But apparently he has no intention of wearing a prosthetic arm or leg. So he doesn't forget the pain, he says.
Wir haben das Geld. Hier ist nur eine Treppe. Er macht zwar nichts. Bitte.
Hey, quit kidding around. Snake? Snake!
Aha, wir sind in einer Mission. Okay. Wir können also nicht duschen. Und wir können es doch.
Welcome home.
Also wir haben ein Scharfschützengewehr. Hatten gerade 2 Scharfschützengewehre oder ist es ein B? Doch, es ist ein B. Und noch was Kleines.
Please specify a project. Please select a drop point. Supplies requested. Supply drop complete.
Der bleibt einfach. Okay. Oh.
Miller doesn't plan to return to the field. Says he's going to stay here and focus on running things as XO. No surprise with his body in that state. But apparently he has no intention of wearing a prosthetic arm or leg, so he doesn't forget the pain, he says.
Muss er wissen. Jetzt habe ich festgestellt, dass ich keine Steuerfunktion habe.
Please select a drop supplies requested. Supply drop complete.
Thank you for letting me join Diamond Dogs. I'll give you everything I've got.
My roles here include training our soldiers and supporting you during missions. Since I am still technically working for the GRU as well, I can't accompany you in the field. Don't take it personally.
Das ist ja nur eine Auswählung.
All mission-relevant data is aggregated in the ACC. That's where you can accept missions and change your equipment. When you're in the area of operation...
Funktionen in Offline-Modus nicht verwendet werden, Feuer beschädigen und belohnen durch eine Funktion erscheinen. Okay.
The support unit will pass on information to you and handle your ammo resupplies.
Dann würde ich an der Stelle einfach mal Tschüss sagen, ne?